Hey guys, Lucas here again for another movie review. Today, it's for The Amazing Spider-Man, one of the most controversial reboots and definitely one of the biggest movies of the summer. A lot of people went in hating this reboot because they felt it was too soon for a reboot because it's only been 10 or 11 years after the first Spider-Man film and only 5 years after the last Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 3, which is mostly hated by everybody. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but personally, I do not like the original trilogy. I think they were very cheesy, very almost Batman and Robin-ish at times. I wouldn't say that bad, but there was definitely moments of, raindrops falling on my head that make it very hard to take seriously. So for me, this was a very welcome reboot because they were going to take it in a more darker tone, kind of like they're taking a cue from Christopher Nolan's Batman, while still trying to make it that fun Spider-Man character that kind of lacked from the original trilogy. This one, it's an origin story as well, just like the first one. Not that we really needed it, because we all know that he gets bit by a radioactive spider, but this one, it's how he deals with the disappearance of his parents, and living with his aunt and uncle more. And there's the Oscorp Corporation that's taken in this one a little bit more than the original trilogy with Dr. Kirk Connors, and then instead of Mary Jane, you have Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone. I enjoyed The Amazing Spider-Man a lot, and I think it's much better than the original trilogy, but it's not the fantastic Spider-Man reboot that we've been hoping for. Andrew Garfield is a lot better than Tobey Maguire, in my opinion. I like Tobey Maguire, but he just captures, I think his body type is more spider-like. I think that he's more likable, he's wittier. I just think he's all around a better Spider-Man. What the hell is that noise? He is very likable, and him and Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, have great chemistry, as they should, because they're an off-screen couple, so if they didn't have chemistry, it would be another Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise situation. I feel like the Lizard, though, Dr. Kirk Connors, he was a very interesting character until he became the Lizard. I felt that he could have had a lot more backstory. His motivations were good, his intentions were good, and it just turned out to be, bad. It's obviously bad. He wants to turn everybody into lizards. But he just seemed like he could have had more backstory that made him more interesting, because near the end he just became kind of like a monster, and he kind of lost the humanity that he had in the beginning of the movie for me. The film in the first 45 minutes, though, does feel a little long, because they do rehash stuff that we've seen before in the trilogy. There's some obvious plot points that they have to go over, which I didn't mind, but there was parts near the end where you're like, okay, come on, just go into the Spider-Man suit. We've been building it up enough, we've seen this before, now it's getting kind of slow. And also, there's a lot of parts where Peter Parker, he is a complete dick to Aunt May, and he was kind of unlikable in those scenes, but you also got to understand the frustration of being a teenager and being picked on, and also having the angst against, his parents. So he felt unlikable at some times, but I eventually got over that. Mark Webb, who is directing it, he does very good character interactions. Peter's interaction with Gwen Stacy is very believable. His interactions with his parents and relatives are very good as well. So I was interested to see how he would take the action, because he's never done a big budget action film before. And I have to say, it's very inventive, it's very spider-like, there's a lot of spider-like movements with the camera. It's very high-paced, it's very high energy. And I really like the way he took it. It seemed more comic bookish than the other ones, which might be something that doesn't really fit in since they're trying to take a darker story. But I actually thought it worked, and I thought it was very exhilarating and very different than stuff I've seen before. Overall, Spider-Man does have a lot of problems. It's a little too muddled in the beginning. The character motivations could have been improved. And overall, I think it's a solid summer movie, and I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel, because I think they'll expand on a lot of the stuff you see here. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of left for interpretation, or they kind of leave out. A lot of stuff with the parents they kind of leave out, but they were setting up for the second one. So I would say I'm definitely looking forward to the second film more than I was for this one. But I still enjoyed this film for a fun summer movie. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars out of 5. So that's my review of The Amazing Spider-Man. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.
You wanna know